Well, what's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with the one and done preview for the Genesis Open. As always, if you want the full DFS breakdown, go check out that video. This is in regards to a one and done pool only. So let's look at last week and see where we stand in this Gups Corner $50 entry, one and done with 1,700 people. We've got three separate lineups. As discussed, we kind of punted the first segment of this away, but we were just throwing out a couple of feelers, trying to get a high finish, maybe a win to get us back into the race a little bit, and we got a little something. So let's start with our worst lineup. Our worst lineup, which is lineup number one, remained our worst because we got a goose egg from Austin Cook. Not ideal. Pat Perez gave us $34,000 in our second lineup, which might as well be a goose egg. No, just not anything to write home about. But then in our best lineup, the only one that we could have used Phil in, he goes out and gets us $488,000 for a T2. Thanks, Phil. We've now used you in all three lineups. I would have loved to have used you again this week, which we'll talk about. But yeah, here we go. So $488,000. We're now closing in on $1 million for that lineup, and we actually finally have some lineup separation. So where do we stand in this whole thing? All right. The leader, Go Giants 13. You the man. $3 million. He's got one, two. Does he have three winners already? I see two. And Phil. And a goose egg from Hideki to get there. That's pretty good. All right. So $3 million is in the lead. Our three lineups are. Here's one in 474th. I don't know if you guys can see this. 473rd. With 960,000. That's pretty good because last week all three lineups were like 1,200th. So we've got one in 473, nice big jump there. We've got one in 1239th, and then we've got the really bad one, 1594. So we actually have some separation now where we can talk about some strategy. But before we do that, let's talk about who we're going to play. So here's the one and done tool on dfsondemand.com. We are... yeah, let's look at this. So here's the Genesis. We're right here. The Genesis has a decent prize pool. Next week's Honda kind of crappy, and then the World Golf Championships, the Mexico Championship, has a very large prize pool. 1.6 to the winner last year, which was DJ. That's the end of the first segment. There's only 3 tournaments left. I will not attempt to win this segment unless we find a win in our best lineup in one of the next 2 weeks. So basically, we would need to find 2 wins to win the segment or have a shot at it. So like if we got to win, let's say we won this week 1.2 million, we added that to our 900,000, we'd be at 2 million, and then if we had another shot at $1.5 million or 1.6 next or in the WGC, we might try to go for that. But unless we win one of the next 2 weeks, we are still stocking up all of our guys for the second leg of this challenge. Okay, Genesis Open this week. There's some value plays. Thomas Pieters, in the one start that he's had, has finished second here. A couple of hot hands recently. Not all of these guys are in the field, so let's actually go to the chart that's going to show us who's in the field for this week. So these are the players in the field. DJ has just an unbelievably stellar record here. You can go look at that. Phil, I would have loved to have played Phil again. I mentioned this on the DFS video. Phil has not had back-to-back top 5s on the PGA Tour since 2013. He just did that the last 2 weeks. So playing really well. This is a course where he's won. It doesn't show up here, but he's won it 2 years in a row. Hasn't played a whole ton here in the last 5 or 6 years, but great course history if you go back far enough. So would have loved to have rostered Phil. So if you're front running and you haven't burned Phil yet, I think this is a really good opportunity to do so. If you're really front running and you want to burn DJ right now, I mean, he's obviously your stud, unbelievable course history. But if you're like me, I'm again sticking with the plan of finding value plays, being better than the field, taking guys with top 3 upside. That's what we're looking for. How are we going to find those guys in our 3 lineups? Well, I'm enjoying this tour stats correlation that I have, where basically this regression model is telling us what stats are most important. And they're in order. Okay, so strokes gained total was the highest correlator this week. There are some values. I would have loved to have played Ches Reavie this week. Ches Reavie, back-to-back second place finishes, has made 19 cuts in a row. I've burned him all in 1 week. I used him in all 3 lineups, and he got us like, what, I don't know, $70,000 or something. Can't use him. Not ready to use DJ, Paul Casey, JT, Jordan Spieth, whatever. Not ready to use those guys yet. A couple of values that pop off are Ollie Snyder-Jans. Okay. Jonathan Vegas, I think, is interesting. Kevin Chappell, I think, is interesting. Scoring average, kind of similar. Here's Ollie. Pops off again. Ches is here as well. SFDA, our favorite new stat for this year. Ches again. Phil, Ollie. Do you see where this is going? Am I giving you an idea of who I'm going to be playing this week? Strokes gained off the tee. Kevin Chappell. Right? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I like Kevin Chappell a lot for DFS purposes. If you come and look at the odds here, Kevin Chappell is $7,700 and he's only 40 to 1 to win, much better than his other peers and cheaper. I don't think we have to use him in a one and done format, but I love him in a DFS format. I love Ollie Snyder-Jans. Okay, so here's Ollie at 40 to 1 to win this event, which is pretty good for someone that we don't really need to play on any other course this year. Coming off a 3rd place finish at the Waste Management, has shown the upside there, and a 7th place a few weeks prior, an 8th place finish last year. So Ollie has had success and recent form. He checks off all the boxes. I'm going to plug Ollie in our top lineup. He's the guy that I'm most comfortable with. If he goes out, and I cannot spell his name. CHNIDNIE. Oh man, sorry. This is brutal. Durjans, got it. Okay. We're going to plug him into our best lineup because he's what I think our best option is. Again, I'm not expecting him to win it, but let's say he does cash a top 3 here and we start to creep up the leaderboard for segment 1. I want to still have a little bit of a chance. If not, I'm happy to use him here because I think he's a really good fit. And we can use him for the season long, obviously. In our second lineup, I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to gradually go deeper here because I'm kind of giving up a little bit on these lineups, at least for segment 1. And I'm going a little bit deeper. Lineup number 2, I'm going to use right here, which is Brendan Steele. 3rd place the last time he's teed it up. 2 top 15s in past history here. And he was another guy who popped up on a lot of those tour stats. I have no point or no qualms with using Brendan Steele here because I'm not going to use him anywhere else. I'm cool with this. And then finally, in this worst lineup, this 267,000, this has no shot. This might already be dead for the season long. And maybe I shouldn't say that. So I'm really not trying to burn anyone here because we will try to win a segment with this lineup, whether it's 2, 3, 4. I'm really trying to punt this entire first leg here because we can't win the first leg, and I don't know how well it's going to be for the season long. So I'm going to take a pretty deep one here, and I'm going to take Jimmy Walker. Let's see if I can find his course history. I think it's pretty good, right? Yeah, here's Jimmy Walker. 9 times he's played it. Back-to-back 4th places in 2011, 2012. Added basically a top 10 last year. And then, he's been through the Lyme disease. He had a ton of time, getting back on the course and finding success. And he's actually, pretty significantly underpriced when it comes to Vegas this week. He's right here. He's $7,200 for DFS, but he's 80-1. But here's the thing that I like. It's the 8th place finish last week at Pebble. So really showed me something last week, and has had good success here. And again, I don't care if I ever use this guy. I'm just plugging him in. If he wins it, great. If not, whatever. We're punting this whole lineup away. So that's going to be Jimmy Walker. So there you go. That's what I'm thinking. Hoping we can get a good showing from Ollie. Couple $100,000 would be great. Actually, I want to make sure I haven't. Okay, I thought I might have used Ollie before. Couple $100,000 would be great from Ollie. It would keep us with a long shot at segment 1, but we're still in pretty good shape for the season long with that lineup. Lineup number 2, kind of just middle of the road in everything, so we're going to take a middle of the road pick. And then Jimmy Walker, again, we're just going to save all of our bullets for the next couple segments here. We might just go nuts on I might use this lineup to just go nuts on segment 3 or something like that. So we have a couple different options here. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me know who you're playing. Tweet me. It's at DFS On Demand, or leave a comment below. Talk to you guys soon. See you.